Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
Hey everybody, I'm coming to you live from Saratoga, New York, where we are here RVing and ready to watch the horse races. You know, if you know anything about horse racing, which I don't really know a lot about, but August is Saratoga month, and the entire racing world, not the NASCAR, these horses only go around once. They don't go around anything more than once. Everybody's here in Saratoga, and it's a pretty cool place. Bob Zagami, it looks like your microphone is off. So if you turn your microphone on, you'll be able to join us and tell our friends about our special guest. But before that, Bob, why don't we not do like we did last week and forget our sponsor and tell everybody that our sponsor is Lee's RV Auto and RV Ranch in Ellington, Connecticut, which is just a short drive from anywhere in New England. It's convenient to I-84. It's convenient to I-81, not 81, I-91. And they're great people down there. Locally owned dealership, family-run dealership. And they've got new RVs, used RVs, and quite a wide variety out in the field, out in the pastures. So you can see the selection of road treks that they have right there, and some additional bumper pull trailers. And they've also got repairs. And the cool thing about the repairs is they've got a giant lift that you can take the biggest RV and put it up on, and they'll be able to take a look at what might be ailing you from underneath. So with that being said, Mr. Zagami, welcome to your show.
Well, thank you very much, John. I'm glad you let me come in tonight. I was actually at Lee's Auto and RV Ranch yesterday with Stephanie, who's their business development manager, and going over a couple of ideas on how they can effectively use the sponsorship between now and January of next year, and shot those pictures while we're down there. We're going to have some videos coming up, but we're delighted to have Lee's Auto and RV Ranch. And the family was in Alaska this week for a couple of weeks. So Brian and Faith will be back. Gracie's already on a around the country tour, and she joined the family in the 2 weeks up in Alaska. So
great. Well, you know what? We talked to the Alaska people, Alaska Holidays, I think it is, when we were with the Winnebago people, because they buy a large number of Winnebago products and rent them there. But here's one thing about RVing in Alaska, even though the name of this show is RVing in New England. A lot of people have said that you're better off flying into Alaska and renting there as opposed to taking 2 to 3 weeks, depending upon where you are, driving on some really bad road in British Columbia and the Yukon Territory to get to Alaska. So it's another way to look at it. Rent when you're there, and all of your time is spent enjoying the beauty of Alaska. And I'm sure Gracie and Brian and all those people will have so many pictures to show us. The natural beauty up there is absolutely amazing. We were up there a few years ago, but we did it as a cruise. And when we got off the cruise, there were some smart people that were walking right into an RV and going to spend another week there in their own RV.
Yeah, so my daughters and son-in-law and grandson just came back from 2 weeks up in Alaska. They did it a little differently. They planned their whole trip out, and they flew up there and visited many places and visited some of the restaurants that they liked. But they had a great time. And Bobby, who just turned 9 in May, had an incredible time enjoying the scenery and the life up there and the animals and what have you. Let's see who we got here tonight. We got.
Where are we?
Oh,
there we are. Wow, we got
Jim
a big
Roy
crew
was
here
really
already.
early. Jim,
We
you were
got a
so
crew.
early.
Jim Roy, 7:01. Jim Roy.
He was so early. He was the first one on tonight. Wow.
Oh, and look at Ryan now has. Oh, Jerry, thank you. Breezy Cape Cod. And he's saying hi to Jim Roy. Now, Jerry, don't
Ryan's
use
here.
our platform to talk to other people. Only talk to Bob and I.
Yeah,
If you want to talk to Jim.
that's right.
So Ryan has his own.
Dante's on. Don's on. Don's early. There you go.
Monica's here.
Monica's on.
Bet
Jerry
on the horse
says,
that takes a dump just
bet
before.
on the horse that takes a dump just before the start. Oh, thank you for those words of wisdom.
I'm sure that will be. I'm sure
Is
that will be in the booklet.
proven racing formula?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah.
Hey,
Palange
Jerry.
is here.
Frank
Mark Polk.
Palange. Hey, Frank,
Yeah.
are you still in Maine or are you back home now? Mark Polk. Hey, Mark. Glad to have you here. Jason Cole. Good evening. And Jason says, "Hey there, fancy meeting you here." Okay. Frank Cates got a good group tonight. Wow. Chris Barry, Parish, Florida, checking in. All right, Chris. I haven't got to know all of Florida yet, Chris. Where is Parish, Florida? What is it close to? Michelle?
Perish the thought, Bob. Perish the thought that you don't know where it is.
So we got Frank is home now. Okay. Ryan says, not sure why my comments are coming from the business page and not my personal. Well, maybe you are on your business page.
Yeah.
And Don Polk is on. Jerry says,
actually, Ryan, they should be coming from your
where's
business
Walter?
page because...
Walter is at the Frog Rally in Goshen, Indiana. And I'm not sure if tonight was his one night that they didn't have planned activities, because earlier today he was asking John for some recommendations of restaurants in that area, and he gave him some. Chris says between Sarasota and Tampa. Okay, I'm down Naples area, so that's good. And I'm not down there now. I'm up in Maine for the summer. Jason, yeah, in Goshen, yeah. Maria, so bummed that I missed a frog rally this year. Oh, well. So we got Ryan is on and Michelle is on. And also this week, I had the pleasure of stopping by King's Family Campground in Sutton, Mass. And we had the pleasure of watching, let's see, I'll get rid of Maria's comment there in a minute, but that's Michelle Fontaine on the left, in case you couldn't tell, and Ryan is on the right. But Ryan was installing, let me see if I can get Maria's comment off there. Oh, there we are. Ryan was installing a a very large GoPower, complete solar power system on Michelle's Grand Design trailer for a segment on Rolling on TV. And they were filming that, and that's the panels on the top. And I did not take that picture. I think maybe Michelle took it. She got up the ladder and looked at the roof, and that's the new inverter system, and it's GoPower, and it'll be on national TV, and Ryan will be right along there with him. And when he's not practicing, these guys really work. He had that's Ryan on the ground and one of his helpers, but they really...
that was when he fell off the roof.
No. These guys, they worked. Let me tell you, they worked for 2 days putting that up, and it's running. So we have a great guest tonight, and one of the things you may have noticed last week and this week, we're kind of easing into a new format because we felt that we were rushing everything at the front of the show. So we now are going to bring our guest on 7:15 to 7:45, which gives us a chance to talk to you beforehand, let you know what's going on. And then if the talk with the guest runs a little bit long to 8 o'clock, that's fine. If not, we give you a couple of closing remarks. You want to add any comments to that, John?
No, we're just looking forward to having our friends, the Wendlands, on. Do we have Mike, or do we have Mike and Jennifer?
Mike and Jennifer.
Both of them?
Yep, they're both going to be available. Yep.
And are they going to be in Tennessee, as they say down south?
I have no idea. I didn't ask him
Okay.
where he was
See,
going
with
to
the
be.
Wendlands, you never know where you're going to find them. You
Yeah,
never
could
know
be
where you'll
Michigan,
find
could
the
be
Wendlands.
Tennessee, it could be someplace on the road.
Yep, could be in Michigan, it could be in Florida, it could be on the road. We will see them next month in Hershey, and maybe we'll see them at Open House as well. I know a couple times ago when we saw them, it was out in Salt Lake City, and I had a terrible cold, and I think that they got a cold and blamed it on me.
Well, everybody
But
blames everything on you.
yeah, well, that's what it was. But
So
we want to welcome.
let's see. We got a few more comments before we come up with Mike and Jennifer. Michelle says, as much as I like staying still a while, I am eager to get going and trying out all my new power. Yeah, with all that installation, I'll bet you can't wait to boondock it someplace. Don says, getting ready for the RV Super Show in Dallas next month. Never been to that one. Mr. Kessler, let's see, Mr. Kessler at 7:12. I believe that qualifies.
It's early for him. It's a new record.
It qualifies him for being late.
Yep.
Porky's with us tonight. Hello, guys. Only on for a couple of minutes, but wanted to say hello. See you guys soon at Hershey. We will be there in Hershey. And if you have any, if you want to tell us any secret stuff that you're going to have at Hershey, Kevin, any new products or new features, we promise we won't tell anybody. But if you'd like to, tell us now, that would be very nice of you, so that we're prepared when we get to Hershey. I think that's a fair request, right, John? Oh, you got your Keystone hat there.
Now, it should be pointed out that Walter Swenson wrote to both of us today and said we need recommendations for a restaurant in the Elkhart area. And the first thing we thought of was the place that Kevin took us, 3-4 months ago when we were out there for
Time Grill and Bar. Yeah.
And who'd have thunk you would get good Italian food in Indiana? And
great
I was
food.
shocked.
Great Italian food. Anything we had there during the visit was fantastic.
Right. And we were there 3 days. We went twice in the same day.
Yep.
Right. So we went at night, then we went back at noon, and then we saw Kevin. And
right.
Let's drop some names. Fenich was there, and Clark was there, and
okay. Monica says, missed you guys the last 2 weeks. We're camping in Bar Harbor. No Wi-Fi, but tons of fun. Did you get all that torrential rain that we got down here in Old Orchard Beach today, Monica? Kevin says, I'll send email you guys the 5 new floor plans that will be on display. Love that hat, John. All right, our guests are ready to appear. So,
name of that restaurant. Huh? What's the name of the restaurant? The
Sports Time Grill and Bar.
Sports Time Grill and Bar.
Great family restaurant. And there we are. Welcome, Mike and Jennifer Wendland. So great to see you. That's not an RV. What?
Well, neither is what you guys got. Those are all fake sets. This is also a fake set.
Hold on.
We're actually outside.
Hold on, Wendland.
That is a fake set, John. I know these things. It's a green screen.
A fake set, Mike.
Look at that window.
I'm in my motorhome.
Words. You stumped him, Mike. He hasn't got any words to explain what he's doing.
No, fake set was.
Hey, we got a pretend revolving fan going on.
But so. I do.
Well, yeah, but you're the high tech guy. You'd figure out how to do that stuff. I know how to turn the fan on.
Hold on.
You know all that technical stuff.
Okay.
Figure out how to get it apart.
Oh, there we go. Okay, that looks. Oh, he's in a parking lot. Look at that. There you go. Much better, John.
Barrel.
I like that.
That is my.
That's the real thing.
My wife is watching TV and back, and I'm here working.
Let's see here.
Because I'm that tiny guy.
We can probably do that. Let's see here.
If everybody's showing their background.
Here we go. Let's see what happens when I do that. There we go.
I'm in the sunroom on my park model up in Old Orchard Beach, Maine.
Yeah.
And since I'm so messy, May would prefer that I use the background. So,
okay.
Ironically, that Airstream that is pictured there's one. I'm looking right out at one exactly like it. I'm wondering if we talk to them later if they were up in the Maine, the big rally that Bob just attended a couple weeks ago. But
See,
Whatever.
even Ryan picked up on the fact that you were speechless when Mike came on. See,
Well, I was only
you
speechless
didn't know what
because
to say.
I couldn't figure out a way to. Oh, wait a minute, Mike's a Keystone guy now too, aren't you?
We have one of our RVs is a
I'm
Keystone. Yeah,
surprised you didn't put a Keystone picture up.
I don't have a Keystone picture.
Right.
You
Well,
don't?
you better get that quick. I mean,
Yeah,
No,
yeah, but
no.
he's got an Acadia fifth wheel. So Kevin Hawkey doesn't. Kevin only does Cougars in Montana.
Cougars. But
He's
see,
on
wearing this
Northeast.
hat,
He's on Northeast.
I have one of those hats someplace.
wearing this hat guarantees that I'll get more swag when I see those guys in Hershey.
But the logo on your hat's all
It's
crooked.
crooked.
It's all
Well,
crooked.
no, that's where it is. That's the way they did it.
Why'd they put it off on the side like that?
To catch your eye.
That's the new
You
thing.
just kind of turn it around like that.
That's the new thing on apparel. They stick them off on the side somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I have no clue why they.
there you go. That's John. That's the John we know.
See,
Here we go.
when I wear it like that, or when I wear it young style.
Yeah, that you're too old to wear it that way, DePietro. Frank says that John is only speechless when he has his mouth full of SpaghettiOs.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Michelle says, "Why is it that hat logo crooked? Is it
It's
John's
not
head?
crooked. It's
John's
the way
head
they
is
produce them.
John's head is crooked." Hey,
Yep.
for
And
those of
everything
you,
I say.
we're talking like family here because those of you who don't know Mike and Jennifer Wendland, we've had the pleasure of knowing them for probably 2 decades, maybe getting into our second decade, certainly. And they are the proud owners of RVlifestyle.com. And Mike and Jennifer, why don't you pretend nobody knows who you are? Tell them what you do.
I'm Mike, and this is my lifelong traveling companion and my bride, Jennifer.
And we've been traveling all over North America for the last 11 years.
11 years. John.
Officially.
Look at John.
I know. Oh, here comes Bo, our
Oh,
dog.
Bo is with us.
Oh,
Bo, our
Bo
dog,
is
is right here now.
All
He
right,
wants
I gotta-
pets. As
I'm
soon as
gonna
we
dump-
start talking,
I'm going to dump my fake background and go.
I
with
should
what
probably
we
turn
have.
off that fan.
Yeah, let me just go.
Let me go turn off the fan.
But where are you? Are you in Michigan?
We're in Florida. We have a condo down here, and we rent it out during the season, which is from May in the Panhandle. Is from May until August. So we came down for a quick week to
see how it had survived.
see how it survived all those
I
people.
thought it was the other way around.
In the Panhandle, it's cooler.
Yeah, it's people come here to escape the summer heat. So the big season in the Panhandle is in the summer
Oh,
because you have that
And
nice
it's cold
breeze
in the
off.
winter. It can
So
get
when you
32
posted-
degrees.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
posted that video, I think you were still in Tennessee. When did you do that?
We just got here. We've been in Tennessee for the last 7-8 days, and we just got down here in Florida a couple of days ago. We're going back to Tennessee Monday, I think, Sunday, Monday.
Driving or flying?
Oh,
Driving.
Driving.
Oh, driving, yeah.
So what do you go down 75? 65?
No, it's
75?
65. 65 to Nashville, and then our property is like 90 miles west of Nashville.
okay. Since we're family, do I tell them the Wendland secret?
I don't know. What
That
is
you
it?
don't let me drive your truck?
Well, no, I will not.
So now you don't have this Wonder anymore, do you?
We just
we
sold
just
it.
sold it.
But we've got a new leisure travel van FX. It's been on order for a year and a half or more, and we
What
pick it up.
platform is it on?
Pardon?
What platform is it on?
It's on the Sprinter chassis.
Oh, but that
Yeah.
one that you just showed, was that
It's
on
on the
Ford?
Transit.
That
That's
was on
on
a
the
Ford.
Oh,
Transit.
it's a Ford, okay.
Yeah.
So
That's-
you'll be back up. So do you have it yet?
We're getting it in Hershey. We're picking it up. Actually,
Oh, okay.
we're driving it home from Hershey. They're using it as a show vehicle. So if you go in it, be really neat, okay? Be very
off your
careful about
shoes.
it. Take off your shoes.
No gum.
You got no gum. And don't
No
bring your
gum.
coffee or anything in there. Yeah.
No.
And,
So he
and Bob,
likes to
don't
use
chew
the-
for you. You can't chew and spit
But he-
like your normal.
Mike,
He
he
likes to
usually
use the
goes in to
toilets in
take
there,
naps.
especially if they have porcelain.
What's that?
He likes the porcelain Dometic toilets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They are.
That's what,
There.
You
that's
got to
what he
watch out,
likes.
Mike, because he likes to take naps at Hershey, so he just goes into an RV and lays down for a while.
He's not the only one.
Doesn't
that's done
everybody
it.
do that?
That's what we all do, right?
The question is, you will definitely notice how high you are in the Sprinter versus the Transit.
We've had a Sprinter before. We had a Sprinter, and then we got into the Transit, so we could try that out and be familiar with it because it's so popular. But we wanted to go back to what we really like the most, and that's the Sprinter. And we've had a number of Sprinters before, so we're anxious to go back with a Class A Sprinter.
A Sprinter is good because we want to be able to tow a car.
Yeah. The Transit,
if we want to.
We didn't have enough really
to
pull.
Now, with the Sprinter, have you had the new one yet? The since 2020?
In 2020, they changed everything.
Right.
Yes, we did. We did
You
get
have
one.
had the new one.
We've had it, and now it's even upgraded a little bit more for 2022. So,
yep. I mean, they drive like cars.
Oh, they do. They're really nice.
Like cars.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, we are really enjoying this fifth wheel that we got. We never thought we'd be in a fifth wheel, but since we have this property, it's like a cabin on wheels. And that's our old wonder.
We need a picture of the fifth
I have
wheel.
one. I can put one
That's
up.
the new one. That's the Acadia in the background, right?
No, that's I don't know whose that fifth wheel is.
Oh, no,
That's
that says Montana.
Montana.
That's the Montana. Yeah, but no, that was taken a couple of years ago. There's our Arcadia. That was taken last week at our property, and it was some of our neighbors who are other RVers who've also bought land out that way in Tennessee.
So that was great fun, having dinner with some of our neighbors.
And that's what we named it.
Yeah.
So is this what you named the property?
Yeah. We have 5 acres there, and it's named after all those pine trees around it. Those are the loblolly pines that are so prevalent in the south and southeast, and that's our property. And we really have enjoyed developing it. It's been really fun, and in fact, we've liked it so much. I think we want to do it in Michigan too. Find some property there. That's where that fifth wheel is so nice. It's just like it's like a cabin on wheels.
Oh, you bought a truck too, or are you keeping that fifth wheel?
Let's not talk about a truck because Jennifer's a little miffed at me tonight because I won't let her drive it.
Oh, see, no, is your plan to keep that fifth wheel seasonal or travel with it?
Travel, but right now we're going to keep it in Tennessee through probably Thanksgiving, and then we're debating using it for if we do our winter camp out, we might take it for that because it's actually got the pipes kind of insulated underneath the floor. But we'll travel, but I think mostly we'll use it as a base camp at our property in Tennessee. And if we are able to get some in Michigan, we'll do it there as well. And then we use the Class C to do most of our traveling. Our traveling is like we've got a big trip out to Arizona coming in between Hershey and Elkhart, and we'll just go scoot out with that Class C and that one.
So what cost more, the trailer or the truck?
The trailer by a little bit. A little bit. The truck, oh my gosh, what a job that was to get. I tried to buy new, and they quoted me. I found exactly what I wanted. It's that same Lariat, new. It was 80,000 MSRP.
I thought it was 82.
82. It was 82 MSRP, but they added $20,000 as $22,000 as a demand upcharge. So we told them no, that's just immoral and wrong. And
so then he proceeded to call up Ford and GM and complain about this.
I did complain about it.
Like anybody cares.
They don't care. They say they do, but they don't care.
They don't care.
But then I tried to find a used one, and we searched far and wide, and I finally got what I wanted. It's in a 2021 Ford, but even then I paid probably $6,000 over MSRP a year ago.
Yeah, for a used truck.
We paid
$6,000 more.
But such is the life.
We should take a second and tell our audience that we are talking to America's first family of RVers, Mike and Jennifer Wendland. And if you have a question for them, we'll do our own Ask Us Anything right now, Mike. We'll do
I like it. We're using the same platform, so yeah.
They do one of the most popular and most highly watched shows on YouTube about the RV industry every Sunday night, right? Sunday night at 7:00.
Sunday night, yeah.
And many of their videos have over 100,000, 200,000 views. So they know a lot. And if they don't, Mike was in TV news, so he knows how to snow you to make you think that he knows the answer. And you'll actually agree, but you won't.
Don't tell them all my secrets.
So you can just write it down right there. I mean, just type it in right now, any question that you want to ask the Wendlands. But Mr. Zagami, I think we haven't touched the topic yet as to what are the pros and cons of owning.
We haven't, but we're going to take a quick break because we want to do our sponsors justice here. So we will take a quick break, and John, you can do about a 30-second one, and I'll throw a couple of pictures. Where'd they go?
No, Bob, I think we've got celebrities with us. Mike and Jennifer, you do it.
All right.
And you're not getting it.
I'm just ad-libbing.
Go ahead.
So John and Bob have a new sponsor, and we are really excited about it. This is Lee's Auto and RV Ranch. They're in Ellington, Connecticut. And you know what's nice about this?
They're family-owned, 28 years in business, full service facility.
I mean, this is so
28,000 square feet.
And they have a lift that'll handle 50,000 pounds. And this is a big operation. It's 9 acres of fun. And they're a new sponsor, August through January. So these guys put up some money in advance, and maybe they'll get John a hat that doesn't have a crooked logo on it. But Lee's Auto and RV Ranch, Ellington, Connecticut. Go say hello to them and ask them about the cow.
Collision repairs. It's hard to get an RV repair.
Oh, it's really hard.
We have found it next to impossible.
Yeah, it is.
That's great. You should practice that stuff more often, Mike. You need a little bit more TV experience.
I love doing that kind of stuff. I like it. You want to do the weather forecast?
Bob, he was a news guy.
It's torrential rain in Maine
testimonials.
Today. Yeah.
Today they have all the talent is all doing talent fee stuff and endorsing stuff all over the place. Who used to do that more than anybody is Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah. Let's get to the topic at hand, seeing we're already halfway through the show. I was intrigued. I saw a blog from Mike and Jennifer this morning with a video on this particular topic, but they do some great blogs. They have some books, guidebooks, and what have you. But I called Mike up, sent him an email and see if he'd like to come on tonight, and they were kind enough to accommodate us. So you want to start with the cons or the pros first, Mike, or give us a little bit of background, what took you to Tennessee?
Well, actually, about a year and a half ago, we saw some ads on social media from this company that was selling multi-acre lots or oversized lots for RVers in Tennessee, in mid-Tennessee. And so we were really curious about this because we had seen around the country other RVers saying, we're just going to buy some property, we're going to develop it. So we talked them into, they didn't want to do a story. I said, we'd like to visit your property and do a story on it. I said, well, how much are you going to charge us for it? We said, nothing. We're going to just come and do a story on it.
And we'll just charge you 2 lots.
Huh?
We'll charge you 2 lots.
Yeah, I should have done that, huh?
Yeah.
But we went and we really were impressed, and we said, this really makes sense. And so when another development not too far from there, but with more property opened up about a year ago right now, we went and looked, and we bought. We ended up buying 5 acres, and there were a lot of reasons why we were able to get that particular property, but it's in the middle of like a 5,000 acre development that these folks bought up, and they're selling them to RVers. They start at 5 acres. You can buy 100 acres if you want, but you don't have to build. It's your land. You can do whatever you want. So we bought in January, and then we've been in November. And then we've just been developing it, and we just finished it. Last week was really our first time.
Actually, we're getting a little fence in front.
Yeah, we're putting a fence in this
little
week.
thing.
Yeah,
tweaking it.
Now, if I finished it, are you talking utilities and sewer and
everything?
Electricity, or
yep. We put
septic
field. I have 3 spots. That's one. That's where we're parked right there. I have 3 pads for RVers, and it's not that we're going to rent it out or anything, but it's for our friends, guests. In fact, we already had somebody stay with us this past weekend, and that was really fun. But it's, the pros of that is that you always have a place to go. And if you have bought that property in an area you like, which we do, it's very quiet. We love the woods. We love this area of middle Tennessee. It's just gorgeous, little mountaintop, it's high up.
It's like 90 miles west of Nashville, and we have kids and daughter-in-law and grandkids in Nashville, so that helps.
Yep.
Okay.
So the big pro is that I always have a place. I don't have to worry about getting a reservation. I can stay as long as I want. I can leave stuff there. I can invite friends and let friends use it. There's just something really nice about that, and it's in an area I like.
Now, is it near paved roads, numbered highways, or
we have a county, and our property is kind of unique because we got in early. I think they're on like phase 2 or whatever of developing this property, but we're on a paved county road that's maintained by the local county down there. Water runs along our property. Electricity runs around our property. And so we were able to get all that
tied in
back to where our pads are, our parking pads are. And then we had a septic field put in we may want to build a cabin there someday, and we have a septic field enough to handle a three-room house, three-bedroom house.
So let me ask you this question, it's my belief that park models are unquestionably the best value in second home living. Okay, and I should say that I don't own one, but Sagami does, and what we paid for ours 30 years ago and what he paid for his 7 or 8 years ago, the value of a park model is amazing. Now, what you're talking is taking one step further, of having the portability that a park model doesn't give you. But certainly, did you do any comparisons, Mike and Jennifer?
We've never been a fan of a park model. And it never has even. We've gone through them. We think they're nice.
We like them.
Yeah, for our situation, I want something that I can bring there, keep it there a month or two, and then take it to another spot, or just use it to travel from place to place.
Right, you're travelers, right?
Yeah, yep. For us to stay someplace for a couple of weeks means we really must like it.
How about 2 days?
2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we didn't really think of a park model, because
you got a lot of choices. So you got the house in Florida, you got Michigan, you got the fifth wheel. You're going to have the new motorhome. You might have some property in Michigan. Yeah, you'll be traveling quite a bit. Yeah.
There's another trend that's out there that is since park models, and it's called a barn dominium. You guys have heard of those, right?
Yep.
Barn dominiums. Look it up. In fact, one of the RVers there that we just met last week has built one of the last 2 days. They're basically a metal-sided, metal-roofed barn that then you furnish the inside as a house. They're really sharp.
Isn't it just like part of the inside of the house is you have the option of making, like this person is going to have half of it repair shop.
Yeah, you can make it as a repair. You can do anything you want with it, but they're very flexible and really nice.
Doug Schwartz of Waste Master, Drain Master, did that probably 20 years ago when he retired, and he went back to full timing in an older GMC bus, and he built the house around it. But it's a barn, so when you drove it in, you got out of the RV, you were in the house. So you walked into his living room and his kitchen, and his bathroom was in the corner, and they slept. So the bedroom was the bus, but it wasn't traveling. But you had all the rest of the house inside the barn. So he was light years ahead of his time and never thought about franchising it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question that some people may be afraid to ask you, but I will ask you anyway. Usually at this phase of your life, your people are slowing down. You seem to be doing the exact opposite with picking up momentum in all these new ventures. Where do you find the time? Where do you find the energy? And period?
How do I answer that?
You work all the time.
Well, I don't know if it's work. I mean,
It's fun.
I do this because we really like it. And I don't know. I could not. People keep saying, well, when are you going to stop traveling? When I'm dead, probably, you know, or dying.
As long as we can move,
you know,
we will keep going.
And I love seeing new things, learning new things. I mean, I wake up literally, you guys, every morning, 6 a.m. Sometimes I lie in bed waiting to get up to do stuff. I'm so excited about it. It sounds crazy, but
no.
So we're having a good time.
I'm still doing that, and I'm 78, and I'm older than you. And I still have the same routine. Up at 6, go to bed at 10 or 11, have fun all day long, doing the stuff that you want to do with people that you want to do it with. I mean,
don't you think that's the secret, really? Yes. Being busy and active and doing stuff.
And the key thing to remember here is that both of you have had issues where you've been hospitalized on the road, right? One of you in Salt Lake, and one of you up in Minnesota.
Yeah,
Red Lodge, Montana.
Yeah, you had pneumonia on the road, and but you know it would have happened at home, and you got to prepare, and it's the same wherever you go. I mean, it's kind of an adventure.
Naysayers out there. Well, what happens if it breaks down?
So here's the deal.
You fix it.
The one thing I've learned in 11 years of this is whenever you do any story about, you know, hey, developing RV property or buying a new RV, there is a certain group of people who do nothing but naysay. They worry about everything. What if a meteor falls on you? I mean, they worry about this, and they tell you that you know, this is going to happen, and they heard somebody who had a friend and this happened to them. And I just feel so sorry for those people. Can you imagine how boring their lives are? They don't do anything. They just worry about stuff.
I mean,
yes, you got to be smart, and you got to do your homework. That's why we talk about buying RV property. It's not for everybody. There's some real cons about doing it. But good grief, if you waited for things to be perfect or worry about what if, you're never going to do anything, and you might as well die. Because
we got a couple of questions here. Frank says, how widespread is this idea? And I want to back it up with what Frank Palanch says here. I want to buy an RV lot in Florida, middle to south. How many of these types of properties are you aware of? So you talked about buying one in Michigan.
A bunch.
A couple in Tennessee. If somebody likes the idea, where do they go to find out where these types of lots and types of developments are?
Well, Wendland's RV real estate.
Yeah, no. You can do a search for it, but what you'll end up finding is old RV parks that sell lots. That's not what we're talking about. Those are just lots. They've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
We're talking about, you know, usually multi-acre or large properties that are not with people 10 feet away from you. We've been to developments in Florida, in Alabama, 3 really in Tennessee. And one of the reasons Tennessee is because there's no income tax, state income tax there. Alabama's a very low income tax. Florida's a low state income tax. So those areas, we're going in just a couple of weeks to one in Arizona, Nevada, about an hour out of Vegas. So they're cropping up everywhere. And even aside from that, we know a lot of different RVers who have just said, I've had it with spending $60 at a campground and having to make reservations a year in advance. And so they found property that they like, and they buy a couple acres and they develop it. It's increasingly widespread. We're hearing about it every day. But to find it, it's tough. You got to be looking in newspaper classifieds. Yep, there's still such a thing, and you got to search online for RV properties, something like that, near me in a state.
Would you say it would be logical to first of all figure out the geographic area that you want to be, that you enjoy, and then go looking, as opposed to go looking and then trying to figure out if you like it?
Yeah, like we've been looking in Michigan for how long?
Oh, a long time.
Since last fall, aggressively. I have 5 or 6 realtors. We've seen lots of properties, but none of them. And Michigan is an extremely high blue state with lots of taxes and lots of road issues, and so it's been hard for us to find what we want there. But the biggest factor of this thing is the cost of it, because the property is you can get the property at fairly reasonable rates. Nothing is reasonable these days, I know that, but developing it, you're going to spend at least a third to half of what you paid for the property to put in the utilities that you want. And that's where a lot of people, they just buy it on an impulse, and they haven't done any research, and you have to line up contractors. And in some of these small towns, there aren't many to choose from. So, and it was a whole learning process for us to learn. We had to have an excavator. We had to move some of the trees, get rid of some trees for a driveway. We had to do trenching. We wanted underground utilities, so that was a big expense. And it takes a lot of, nobody handholds you through this process. That would be a good business to start, maybe, but to do that for people. But you've got to.
Are neighbors visible from your property?
No. If you look on the video we put up Saturday, we put the drone up, and you can't see anybody's. I have a neighbor to my, which direction would that be? That'd be my east of me, but I can't see his property. I can't hear him, and up where we are, we're kind of on a mountaintop, small mountaintops, and then it consists of ridges and then what they call hollers. These swales underneath.
A holler, right? Yep,
yeah.
A holler. A hoot and a holler.
But we'll never see our neighbors. They're never anywhere around.
Frank Melange asks, where in Florida? And Frank, I'll make it easy for you. Whenever you go to Florida with that big, mobile estates?
Yeah, DRV. Yeah.
DRV. You are free to park in Zagami's yard for as long as you want.
No, that's a park model resort, John. The only thing in there is park models. No RVs.
No. I'm talking Florida, Zagami.
Yeah, no. Huh? Oh,
Florida.
Oh, yeah. That's possible. Hey, yeah. I got a development question, though, because,
do you want me to answer that question? No, he said, where in Florida? The development we looked at was around Perry, Florida, which is
right on the northeast corner of Naples.
That's where Bob is, but
that's where Bob is. You're not gonna.
Yeah,
Mike, what are you talking?
I've got a development question because
I was trying to answer your reader's question, who wanted to know where in Florida. You never let me answer it. He wants to know.
Oh, he was talking about.
Yeah, John said he had a question, Tony. Right, John?
Yes.
Okay, it was Perry, Georgia, which is in what some people call the Great Bend area, Perry, Florida. Let's say Georgia, Perry, Florida. It's the Great Bend, or the armpit of the Florida Peninsula, as it turns down, and it was about 1.5 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. Now they sold out. I think they had 79 lots when we went and did a story. They sold them out, in just a couple of weeks. But there's still a lot of property there.
All right, so here's my
approved land, right?
Time out. I got a question. I got a development question. When you listen to these cities and towns and the trouble that people have making it, how does it? And I know how much research you do and how deep you get into things. And I'm sure you talk to the developer. But how does a developer go to a town and say, I want this piece of land, and this one might be an RV, and this one might be a log cabin, and this one might be a big house? I can't picture that happening up in the Northeast, but how difficult is it going to be for developers to sell the city or town on this concept?
Well, in the area we live in, that we have our property in Tennessee, it's the most rural county in all of Tennessee. The most rural. Population of the little town we're located is like 950. They were delighted to see all these people coming in for RVs, but a developer, and I'm not a developer, so that kind of developer, but I know what they did is they looked for large blocks of property that they could buy that didn't have a lot of restrictions on them, like you had to build a permanent structure in 2 years, or you had to do this or that. And then they then they had it surveyed, and could they easily divide it up into lots, and they cut lots from like 5 acres to 100 plus acres. So they're going to look for places that have relatively low taxes and don't have a lot of red tape. You don't have that in the Northeast. I mean, good grief, you can't cross the street without a permit up there in New England, you know? So that is a problem in many places. And there isn't a lot of locations around the country where you can find big hunks of property like that. Somewhat in the Southwest, somewhere in, Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, northern Florida, you'll find places like that. But it's hard. It's hard to find a lot of them.
So when you were answering Frank, I may have missed something because I was on the other page. Were you telling him about a development in Florida, in Perry, Florida, similar to yours, or what was the relationship?
Yeah, he was asking where in Florida we saw property, and I told him it was in Perry, Florida. And there's also, I know, a development coming. I don't know if they've announced it yet, but I did get an email on it up near Defuniak Springs, which is in the Panhandle, just north of Destin, which is a great part of the Panhandle called the Emerald Coast area. So they're coming along, and it's just that large tracts where you can develop them like that are hard to find.
Mike, how many the Perry, Florida one? How many lots in that?
I think they had, if I remember right, I think it's 79. Is that right?
They're all gone.
And they sold them in like one weekend.
Okay.
One weekend.
So these are not oceanfront stuff. This is
they're 2 miles from the Gulf. And
2 miles from the Gulf. Okay.
2 miles from the Gulf. Yeah.
Unimproved land. I mean,
unimproved land, but with road access, lots of roads and utilities that can be run onto each lot.
So, Mike, there's a lot of things to like about this, and great conversation with our fans. On the distaff side, on the cons of it, what cautions do you have on the other side of the equation?
Well, maybe you like the freedom to go wherever you want, and if you own a hunk of land, you got that investment there, you feel like you have to go there.
To the land, the spot that you bought.
And the good thing is you don't have an HMO, but the bad thing is you don't have an HMO.
Yeah. Or HOA. Yeah.
HOA. Yeah. Sorry.
We're also worried about HMOs sometimes. Yeah. You want to make sure if it's really rural, is there good medical facilities nearby? And many of these places where you can get that kind of land, you got to travel a long way for doctors and good medical care. So that's one. Mm-hmm. I think Jennifer's point that you feel you always have to use it is one that, you may say, oh, we developed it, we got to go. The cost, I think, is the biggest thing. And it's somewhat involved. You need to get permits.
And it would be cheaper just to rent places.
It would be cheaper to rent places. Absolutely. So the reason you get it is because you like that area. In our case, we love the peace and quiet of the woods. It's just, it was 90 degrees and we just can't get over how peaceful it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like once you started building, Mike, and making improvements, that from a viewer perspective, it seemed like it was flawless and you had no trouble finding contractors. I mean, you're out in the middle of nowhere. You just can't pick up the phone and call a plumber or electrician.
Well,
what happened with that?
We got in November, and we lined up one contractor right then, and we got the trees done. We got the septic in. The water started to take some time, and then it took a long time for electricity because that one contractor got real busy with all the other people who were buying it. Since then, another contractor's come in. In fact, we just hired him. He's doing a fence for us this week across the front of ours. It just will look nice, and it'll keep my dog in. But those guys are
nobody around. What do you need a fence for? Looks.
Well, you don't want them running off. Yeah, and it does look good. But
well, we have 2 gates up, and the gates were kind of, as I said, floating. It needed a fence to.
And you don't want
Make it
people,
look finished.
yeah, so you want to have some kind of locks and security. But the contractor is a big issue. And some, for example, there's only one guy in this whole community that does well digging. And a lot of these newer ones, they need wells. And, he's like got a 2-month backlog in digging wells up. So unless another well digger comes in, people who are buying now have to wait. And those are all the kind of questions that, you have to go through that can make it more complicated than you think. Ours went relatively easy, although it took 8 months, we've been, 8 months into this.
And the poor contractor, we kept changing our mind.
Because we don't know what we're doing, we don't know what we're doing.
That might surprise you that we don't know what we're doing, but
we don't.
No, the video already has 4,000 views in just a couple of days.
Oh no, it's got 30,000. Oh, that was yesterday's video.
Right.
Look at the one Saturday. That's the one that shows everything. That has, I think, 30,000 now. So it's gone really fast.
The Woodlands, Buffalo River. Okay, yeah.
Yep, that's the main one. Yeah. Yesterday was a podcast.
Are you looking at his YouTube? Are you on the YouTube channel, John?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, make sure you check out the RV Lifestyle YouTube channel. What are you up to in terms of subscribers and views on your channel?
164,000.
164,000 subscribers, and I don't know how many views. 30 million, 20 million. I don't know.
Millions and millions.
Well, I mean, there was a method to my madness in asking that question. What are the questions that people are asking? Do you go through it and look at the comments?
I do. The big question everybody always knows, how much did it cost? Well, yeah. You can't answer that because every property is different. I mean, I have a 300-foot circular driveway. Most people won't need that. I had to cut down 100 trees for that, maybe. And most people won't need that. I put a septic field for a 3-bedroom house in. So that's why we prefer saying you're going to spend 1/3 to 1/2 of what you spent for the land to develop it. And that's in talking with a lot of other people who've done that. That's a pretty good ballpark for it.
Do you have internet there?
Oh my gosh. They have fiber optic internet. This is, can you believe that? I have Starlink in Linden, Tennessee, fiber optic. I mean, it's just amazing. Chris, our editor, Chris, the editor. Usually I like to send him the raw video and something, but the files are so big. I used the fiber optic to send the files, and it was like in a minute and a half, they were gone. And it would usually take me 6-8 hours to send it. So the internet is phenomenal. But the cell phone coverage is really good there too. But that's all. That was the biggest surprise for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who watch both of our shows, Chris Colley, who Mike referenced to us, is also the producer of our Camper Report show, and I can't thank you enough, Mike. The guy is absolutely incredible. But you already knew.
Let's not tell too many more people about it.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
He's not that good. He's not that good. You don't want to try it.
I know. Hey,
he's awesome.
It's good to see somebody in your advanced age with a positive attitude toward the future.
Well, you got to make it yourself because it ain't happening on its own. So
there's a couple of things before we close. Believe it or not, we're getting close to the end, but I want to make sure that people understand the full scope of what you do. And one of the things that you have your travel guides, which I believe that's those. Give me a 30-second overview on the travel guides, Mike.
These are meant to help RVers not miss anything. And we call it 7-stop travel guides. Sometimes we used to do 7-day travel guides, but really they're longer than that to do it. But so they can go to a region or an area, and we tell them the route we took, what we saw, the attractions, where to stay, oftentimes where to eat, and a little of the history, so that it's all ebooks, so you can kind of download it and you can travel along with it, and it really helps. We have I think that shows only 10, but we have I think 12 of them out now. We've been doing about 2 or 3 a year.
Well, I'm land based in Florida, but I use your Florida one as a guide when I want to go travel and see things.
We have three Florida ones. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of the ones that I think is, I put that in the best kept secrets, because when you think about the advancements of van life, all the young adults that want to be out boondocking, and you're doing a form of boondocking with the plot, but I think this is one of your best things. But give us a little pep talk on this particular product, which I understand is now available in hard copy.
Yeah, that's the only one we've done is a hard copy, but that's been our preferred, and that still is our preferred means of camping. We've been using lithium and solar, and in fact, even on the Acadia, we just upgraded to 1,200 watts of solar and 600 watts of lithium, and that makes, you don't need a campground. You just need to go on public land, and you can camp in the middle of nowhere. Harvest hosts have cropped up in the years since we started this. So very seldom are we in a campground, unless we have to do like laundry. That's where once a week it's kind of good to go to a campground for that. But boondocking is our favorite way of camping, has been for 11 years now.
Did you see Joel's post this week they were number 70 in 3 years. They are number 70 on the Inc. 5000 list.
Joel Howland has done a phenomenal job of taking a dream and building a business, and he's been a supporter of ours for years and years now, and we just can't say enough. Some of our favorite memories have been made at Harvest Hosts.
We say that almost every week and with almost every guest, but it's a 5,880% increase in business in the 3 years that Joel has owned the company.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
So look at guys, we got about 2 minutes left. Jennifer, what's the one thing that you love most about Tennessee?
I like the climate. It's a little warm right now, but they usually don't have snow. Even though I like snow in Michigan, it's hilly. The mountain is where we are, so I don't think I'm going to miss the snow. The people are extremely hospitable. Everyone that we have met.
There's no people there. There's only 950 people there.
Hey, we went to their Christmas parade.
We went to their Christmas parade. There's a little hotel in town that has been refurbished, and every Friday night they bring in musicians from Nashville and songwriters, and the whole community hangs out there. And we've made more friends there than we have at our Sticks and Bricks home in Michigan in the last 2 years. Yeah, so there's a thing called Southern hospitality, and it really is true down there.
It is true. Well, we want to thank you so much because you guys are so active. We look forward to seeing you. And when do you get to Hershey?
We'll be at Hershey Sunday through Sunday. Full week. Okay. Yeah.
So we'll see you. We're there
Tuesday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look it up. Well, we have media. Are we going to do those dinners? We used to do those great dinners. We should do another one.
We're going to try it. I think we're going to be kind of back to a normal year this year. I know Heather's expecting that they could potentially break the record, over 70,000 people. And I think we'll see a good slate of media people there. So thank you for reminding me. I hadn't put that on my list yet, but I'll.
Oh, and there's that new restaurant too. That one that we went to.
Well, set it up. We'll see you Monday, Tuesday is the best time to do that for us.
All right, maybe we'll see that for Let's try to do that for Tuesday night. We'll get the media gang together. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to have you on. We get to do it weekly and still not get through all of your skills and all the things that you do. But folks, check out rvlifestyle.com, and you can always email Mike at rvlifestyle.com if you got questions or concerns. And we'll do a quick commercial, and then we'll do the closing video, and we'll catch up to you guys in Hershey in a couple of weeks, guys.
All right, John, Bob, thank you guys for having us on. It's always fun to hang with you guys.
Great.
Absolutely.
Super. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
So we want to say special thanks to our sponsor, Lee's Auto and RV Ranch, right in nearby Ellington, Connecticut. I say nearby because no matter where you are in New England, you're somewhere close to Ellington, Connecticut. They're family owned. They've been in business for over 25 years. They're the nicest people you ever want to meet. And When you drive by, you're in the middle of the pastures and you look over to your right or your left, and there is Lee's RV Ranch, off 84, off 91, off 691, whatever that road is, but it's close.
That's right. It's real close, and great family business. Stop down, say hello, and let them know you heard about them on RVing in New England. And please like and share tonight's program and share it with all your friends. Glad to have you, and we will see you all next week.
Thanks, everybody.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.